Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Michelle Shannon, owner of M. Shannon Etiquette Training, and this morning I will be interviewing Melissa Simmons. She is the founder of Blue Star Virtual Learning Academy. And how are you today, Melissa?
I am fantastic. Just waiting for it to rain in North Carolina. The
Oh,
sky is pregnant with rain, and this is not doing nothing. And it needs to come on here.
we had some here in California, and you guys can have it. You can have it.
I know, right?
Yes.
It's messing up my swim plans.
Oh,
I have to swim in the rain.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with our interview. Who is Melissa Simmons, the founder of Blue Star?
Melissa Simmons is a very committed educator. I've known since I was a very young child, since I was about 5 years old, I knew I wanted to be a teacher. And so I am just expanding in my awareness and understanding what that is. And so I would like to consider myself now at this stage in my life, after 20 plus years of doing this, I would kind of describe myself as a conscious educator, because that implies that I'm evolving and expanding and growing every day.
Okay, and it sounds like you're very passionate about what you do, which makes it even better. You know, as with me being a parent too, I like when people are very passionate about what they do because it makes it better for the kids. They put more effort into teaching the kids and helping the kids, and that's really good.
Thank you.
In the history of the company, you said it is a dream realized. Tell us a little more about that.
Well, it had to have been a couple of years ago, I was journaling. When I do my contemplation and my time of just centering and aligning myself in the morning, I had a school in my head and I just wrote it out, and I envisioned it being a private school on a campus. I drew out the buildings, I outlined the curriculum, I even made the daily schedule for the students. I mean, I was just going off in this journal entry. I was just visioneering. And I called it Blue Star, and it was going to be kind of a brick and mortar campus. I saw it as something that I would retire. It would be my retirement. I would bring on a team of young educators and just let them have at it. And I would just kind of give them the vision to play with and let them dream and make it their own. But then I had a dear friend of mine reach out to me. And she had been homeschooling her child since he was in kindergarten. And she wanted to go back to work because she wanted to buy a home. And she asked me to come in and help her. And to help her write the curriculum so that she could have someone else work with him during the day and then come and homeschool him at night when she got home. And so I did it as a favor, and she was so happy with what I put together for her. She told everybody in her co-op group. And then that was, all of a sudden, this dream I had on paper started to manifest in front of me as an actual school, but it was online. Because she lived in DC Metro and I lived in North Carolina. And so I couldn't do a physical place, but I could do it online. And so that is how Blue Star Virtual Learning was born.
Okay, that is such an inspiring story. That is awesome. I really like that story because we as parents homeschooling our kids, sometimes we do need help with the curriculum, and sometimes we need a lesson plan written out for us to follow, for the kids to follow, because, you want to still, in a way, remain like a regular school, but you want to have your own spin on it,
Absolutely.
To follow is great. That's good. I'm sure everyone, of everyone in her co-op, I'm sure they really like the fact that she told them about your help. So that's good. That was a good way to get started, a good way to get you out there and everything. That's awesome. What exactly is Blue Star Virtual Learning?
Blue Star Virtual Learning is a village. It took me a minute to kind of understand what exactly I was making, because when I was telling you my original vision, it was a school.
Mhm.
But Blue Stars turned out not to be a school at all. And that's because we already have a school, and that is Earth. I believe that Earth itself is the school,
Mhm.
and everything that we're doing and experiencing, there are lessons for us within this school. So what I'm really realizing Blue Star is, it's a village. It's a community of fellow educators all pooling our resources together to provide the most optimal experience for a young learner or even an adult learner. And so that's what we are. So basically, we create customized learning plans for what we call a master student. And we call people master students because our motto is an experience where masters make themselves. So, how we're different is that we're not here to impart knowledge or wisdom necessarily on anyone. We're not here to necessarily give it to you. We are more here to help you figure out how to find it for yourself. We're here to help you to nurture the master that is within you and bring that person out, and then help you find the resources that can help you as a learner be able to engage yourself and find things that excite you, and also acquire knowledge for yourself through content. There's so much information in our world. A lot of that information is online. And so we're here to help navigate our learners through this amazing world we have online with information. And also, a lot of the stuff that we find online connects to things that are in our outer world. They connect with great libraries, museums, learning experiences, festivals, great master teachers that are out here that you can learn from. So we're also here to help be resourceful and help point our learners in that direction. We don't believe learning is only online. We take more of a hybrid approach because we think that working with good old-fashioned Cuisinart rods to learn math is still important. Being able to sit down with some good old pencil and paper and practice your handwriting is still a wonderful art. So we encourage that as well, but we celebrate the beauty of technology, the fact that we are smaller as a world because of Wi-Fi and because of the internet and because of Facebook and because of Zoom and Instagram and Snapchat. We can now connect with people around the world with WhatsApp and talk to someone in Africa in real time. So we're celebrating that, and we're utilizing those resources to the max.
Okay. What are some of the classes that you offer? Some of the classes that you and your other educators that you have working with you, what are some of the classes that you offer?
Well, the very first thing that Blue Star is, so when you meet Blue Star, you don't have to pay to be a member of Blue Star. So that's the first thing I want to make sure that people know, because that surprises them often. A lot of people who are members or who are, participants in Blue Star, they're just a part of our community because they want to be. So we don't turn anyone away from learning with us. We welcome all learners, no matter what your background, no matter your religion, no matter your ethnicity, no matter your gender preference. We welcome all learners into the Blue Star family. But we do offer membership if you want to get what's called a learner compass. And so members pay a fee to be able to have customized learning plans delivered to them on a monthly basis. And that's an option you can choose. Okay. But we also have these things that are called fun pods that are super popular with young people because we offer a variety of learning opportunities online using, for now, Zoom as our platform. So you can learn things like how to work with Legos to help bring out the inner engineer in you. We have Art Mania that gives a lot of kids who are into animation, digital animation, actual old-fashioned drawing. We give them an opportunity to be creative and get that out of their system and create and get some coaching in how to really work and improve their technique. We have holistic wellness, which is also very popular, and we teach kids things like how to find resources to help them with meditation, to help them with contemplation. They get exposed to yoga. They get exposed to how to keep a personal exercise journal so that they can track if they're jumping on a trampoline or going swimming or riding a bicycle. We teach them how to eat foods that are really good for the body and promote wellness for the body, that avoids GMOs and different things of that nature. We have a journalism club, which is my personal favorite. I love my journalism club. And that's where the kids actually write stories. We have an online newspaper called The Compass. And if you go to our blog, www.bluestarvl.com, and you hit blog, you will see our online newspaper. And those are written by our young people. And they're putting out stories that are of interest to them, not me, but to them. What do they want to talk about? What do they want to share with the world? We also have Twinkling Stars. So we just expanded to working with infants in our community because we believe learning starts at soul. We're soul. And so we come into this world as soul already gifted with abilities to learn. And so we've had a parent reach out to us who had an 11-month-old and said, I want to start learning now. I want to start helping them know how to do things now. So we have a great group called the Twinkling Stars Fun Pod, where we bring parents in and we talk about child development, little simple things we can do with play to really excite kids about learning, baby sign language, and all these other cool phenomenons that are out there. And so, yeah, we have fun, and we have things for our parents and our adults as well. We have holistic wellness for adults, where we talk about grown folk stuff. How can we stay well as grown folks? And so that's today at 2:00 this afternoon here on Thursday. We have it Thursday at 2 p.m. And so in next year, we'll have Starbursts. Starbursts are going to be very specialized courses for 12 weeks on a given subject. So whether it's music composition, whether it's some type of a STEM curriculum that we're going to focus on, like coding or something to that effect, we'll have some very specialized things that we're going to roll out in the fall.
Oh, okay. That sounds really exciting. I mean, when you wrote that plan down to start your, you really, and you ran with it. That's good. I really like that. And you're very creative as far as what you're offering in the classes, and the names of the classes and everything. That's really good. You're really into what you're doing, very passionate about what you're doing.
Thank you.
Okay. What types of families are drawn to your community?
We attract a variety of families. We attract families who still have their children enrolled in school. I'm actually today working with a rising high school senior who is enrolled in traditional school, and they just finished their final exams, and we are preparing for high school graduation next year. And so we're doing some real deep tissue foundational gap filling in math, because that has been a big struggle for them. And so the parent and the family, who came to us, they're a family who they recognize that sometimes their child hasn't necessarily had all the gaps filled in their basic skills, and they want those gaps filled before that student moves on to higher education. And so they want for their children to have a better experience when they interact with things that are a challenge to them. So I think we attract families that are very aware of themselves as a family and their children. And they're not afraid to face what they're seeing. They have the courage to say, you know what, we need help. We don't know everything, and we're going to look out there and find resources and support systems that will help us. I find that our families are very brave. Also, we attract very creative, out-of-the-box thinking families. Our parents are so creative. They teach and come at educating their children in some of the most fascinating ways, and we grow as a result of that. I've learned about different curriculums I've never heard of because I have master parent educators who keep me informed, keep me in the loop. And we take those suggestions from them and we learn about them. We get into them, and then we come up with plans to help them to utilize those resources in a creative way. I also think families who are attracted to us are families who really want to empower their children to take responsibility for themselves, to take responsibility for their knowledge acquisition. We work best with families who really are wanting their children to be self-motivated, self-engaged, because we do not learn for a child, nor do we empower parents to do work for their kid. Those families don't tend to stick with us for very long, and we part in love because we're not here to tell people how to raise their children or how to educate a young person. But we are about self-mastery. We are about people learning for themselves. So we're not about enabling or fostering a sense of people kind of not taking responsibility for their learning.
Okay, that's good. What, why do you choose to primarily focus on homeschooling families?
Because I think I tell my friends in education who are licensed professionals, I tell them they better find a homeschool family near them and get with the program, because homeschool families are, to me, the new frontier of education. As someone who is classically trained as an educator, I think some of our most innovative minds, some of our most creative and dynamic teachers are in the homeschool community right now. um, I'm a firm believer in it. And the reason why is because I'm witnessing the product, the child. These children coming out of the homeschool movement are some of the most dynamic, bright, capable, well-rounded, healthy young people that I see out here going into Howard, going into Harvard, going into Yale, going to Oxford, or starting their own company and not going to none of them. And so I think what homeschool families are doing in this country and beyond should absolutely be respected, admired, observed, and supported. Firm believer.
Mm-hmm. And I actually, personally, in my opinion, I think it takes a special parent to homeschool their child, because when you homeschool your child, you have to have that patience. You have to have understanding. There's so much that you have to have, to deal with your child all day. And we as mothers, I feel like mothers, if something's wrong with our child, we're going to take care of them. If we don't know something, we're going to go out and find out about it. And I think that there's a lot of creativity that goes into homeschooling your child as well, because with the different lessons that they need to learn, we're going to find a way to teach to them. We're going to find a way to, teach them in a way where we know that they learn, according to their learning style. And we might ask other parents, what are they teaching? What are they doing? We're out there trying to find things. We're on the internet looking for things. And that's why, one of the reasons why I thought it was really important for parents to meet someone like you and to know about what you're doing and about Blue Star for virtual learning, because you're someone that parents need that are homeschooling. Like you said, homeschooling parents are creative, but you can be very creative, and you can have all of your stuff together, but it doesn't hurt to bring in someone like you to also assist with everything that's going on. And I always say that sometimes I think the child needs someone else besides the parent to work with sometimes, because I know, like with my daughter, she gets a little frustrated when it's just me all the time. So it's good for her to see someone else, to work with someone else, on some subjects or on some other things.
And what's so beautiful about what you're sharing, Michelle, is that a lot of what I have come to know as an educator came from pain, came from being in a public school system that was very adversarial. It was us and them. It was teacher versus parent. And we have in my opinion, very little training in teacher college on how to be a support to parents, how to speak to parents in a way that honored their ability as educators, and helped us to work as a collaborative partner in this. And we didn't get very much training in how to work with our administrators and how for administrators to work with us. And so I find schools often very adversarial, and I don't put them down. I don't think that schools are terrible places, but my experience in them, I saw a lot of that. And I had a choice. I could become embittered, I could become toxic, I could become negative, or I could decide to create something new. And I decided to create something new that really partners my abilities as an educator with parents. We are a team. We are team kid. We are partners. And to take the love a teacher has for a child and marry it with the love of a father and a mother, or the love of a single mother, or the love of a single father, or the love of a grandparent, to marry those two is a powerful, dynamic collaboration that uplifts not only the child, but our whole planet. It uplifts us all when we can be unified in one accord for that child's success, for that learner's success. And so to be able to create Blue Star with that kind of mission and that kind of commitment in mind is my honor. It is my mission. It is what I'm on this planet to do.
Yes, yes, I agree. Why do you not exclusively focus on homeschool children?
Because I believe every child who is in a home, even if it's a homeless shelter, is homeschooled.
Mhm.
That's why. I actually don't use homeschool but so much in our program. I believe that every child is being privately educated. I think that there's a private education movement going on. And some of our families are just not at a stage in terms of economic empowerment where they can exclusively be at home with their child. That's a reality. Some of our parents still need to go out and go to a traditional job and earn an income, and that means they're away from the home. But that should not cut them off from support. That should not limit them from the resources and the knowledge and the movement that is going on in this country and beyond on how to take responsibility for helping the education system in your own home. I think for our planet to become more aware and more well functioning, that we have to learn how to build schools in our home. We have to learn how to connect, rather, our home learning to the school of the world, and be able to really see that we have a role. And as a parent, that we have a responsibility to be able to educate our own kids and not just outsource it to everyone else. Sometimes I run into parents who say, well, why should I, the purpose of me homeschooling is not to even use them, Melissa. I'm here to do it myself. I don't want somebody else helping. And to that parent, I say, gone, girl, gone, boy, do your thing. I don't find that offensive at all. I'm okay if nobody wants to use me. I'm not for you. By all means, do what you think is right for your family.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that there's a village thing that comes from the culture, the great old wisdom in the African American culture that comes from the great continent of Africa, of a village. Yes. That there is auntie down the street who can help you learn how to do something. There is uncle around the corner who can show you how to do something. There's Baba, there's this, there's that. Like that is healthy to me. I think that when we isolate ourselves into this box that only I know my child, only I know myself, that we limit our ability to expand. Because sometimes having the mirror of a neighbor or having the interaction of another child in your life will show you lessons and truths about yourself you need to see. And so that's why I think it's so important that we as a village, a learning community, don't exclude parents who are not homeschoolers, but embrace them into the collective of our learning opportunity.
Okay. And you mentioned there are some parents that cannot afford to stay home with their kids. There's some parents that can't afford to stay home with their kids, and they still go to work every day, and they still homeschool their child when they come home. They homeschool their child so bad that they have a curriculum for them set aside outside of their regular everyday schoolwork that they have. And I think that's really, really awesome that a parent will do both, you know, because they want to introduce their child or, you know, teach them what they want to teach them, you know, certain things that they feel like they're not learning in school.
Well, that's how we got Barack Obama. When
Yeah.
I read when I read Dreams from My Father, if
Mhm.
that's not what his mother was doing with him, she was an anthropologist. She had to go to work. But she
Mhm.
would wake that boy up early in the morning and have her own classes with him
Mhm.
because she knew in Indonesia the education he was going to receive was going to be limited because of just where their education system was at that time. And
Yes.
so she had the due diligence to teach him more.
Mhm.
Well,
Mhm.
he became. And
Yeah.
so I agree with you 100% that we should not assume that because, um, and I'm going to have to move a little bit, they're doing landscaping outside my home. Can you hear it, the landscaping?
No, it's not loud.
Okay. Okay, good, good. And I'll stay here. But I think it's important that people realize that, you know, if you see that your child is missing something,
Mhm.
if you feel like, wow, I'm asking them a question about what they learned today and they really can't tell me anything,
Mhm.
then it's time for you to take another step.
Yes.
It's time for you not necessarily to yank them out of school if that's not what you're
Mhm.
feeling called to
Mhm.
do,
Mhm.
but they need more.
Yes.
And if you don't know how to provide that, don't be discouraged. Don't feel like you're failing as a parent. You know, go get some help. And I'm very honored and happy to
Mhm.
help families who need that help. You know,
Mhm.
that's why we're here. But if you don't use us, use someone. Because I'm not one who believes that everybody's for us. So
Mhm.
if not us, find someone to assist you. That's within your means and within your abilities, and have a good time and let it happen. Let
Yes.
it happen.
I have a lot of friends that are educators, and one of their main complaints is the parents feel like the learning is cut off when they leave the schoolhouse. You know, don't help them at home as far as in trying to, you know, reinforce what they've learned in school or, you know, teach them, you know, their way. I feel like the teachers in the classroom with a bunch of kids with different learning styles. And sometimes you need to teach your child according to the way that they learn. And it's okay to help your child at home. It's okay to use someone like you after school, you know, to introduce the child to something else, something different, you know, to have you help them learn, you know, something or help them with what they're learning in school.
And one of the things that we do, Michelle, with our community here at Blue Star is we really work very closely with our parents. We
Mm-hmm.
don't just work with the master student, the child, we work with
Mm-hmm.
the parents a lot. We
Mm-hmm.
have Mondays at 8 p.m. a parent think tank.
Mm-hmm.
That is free. Any parent can join, not just our parents, anybody. They can bring friends, neighbors, cousins, aunties, whoever. And we problem solve the things that are holding us back from teaching our kids at home. We problem
Mm-hmm.
solve them together. We
Mm-hmm.
support each other. It is okay not to know. I think one of the biggest scams going on the planet is that parents are supposed to know everything. That's a scam. That's not true. And you can intellectually know, well, yeah, duh, Melissa, that's not true. But I think we don't always function like that. And how I know this is because I see a lot of parents burnt out. I see a lot of parents discouraged and down on themselves, which implies you haven't learned to embrace the gift of imperfection. You haven't learned that there is a plus one element in this universe and that you don't know everything and not supposed to know everything, that's why we have community. That's why we have questions and answers. It's okay. And so allow yourself not to know and don't feel shame about that. Don't feel shame about it. You know, you can have raised one child one way and then you get a second child and they just upset that apple cart all day long. It's a new day. It's a new child. And so you got to throw all that stuff out that you learned with that baby and do something different. And that's okay. And I think sometimes we make parents feel like they have to, why don't you know this? And we do the same thing with teachers too. We feel like teachers, you know, you go to training and you get teacher education knowledge and then bam. But that class that comes the next year don't look none of that class who was in the year before. And so it's all about change. and learning how to work with change and embrace change and change with change.
Mhm. True. That is very true. What are the benefits of a family investing their resources into Blue Star?
I'd like to use, I like the word invest that you use.
Mhm.
Invest. I think where we put our resources say a lot about where our focus is. And so that's how I see it as. I see when you invest your resources with us, you're just putting your focus on what we do and how we can be of service to you.
Mhm.
That's how I see it. It's about us being of service to you. And I think sometimes we're investing in things that don't serve us. We're investing in lots of books. We're investing in lots of expensive online things. We're paying $1,000 for someone to tutor our children. And we're not necessarily seeing our kids learn how to do things for themselves. And I tell people, invest in Blue Star Virtual Learning. Invest in how letting us serve you. Because we do serve. We are very accessible to our parents. We don't tell our parents, you get 1 hour a week, that's it. Our parents have unlimited access to us when they become members. They just do. And that's just how we flow. And people are like, well, how can you do that? There is a time limit, time. I don't know how we're doing it, but we're doing it. When our parents need something, they get a response. When our parents need to talk to somebody, there's somebody to talk to. Because we have a team. I don't do it by myself. I have a team of amazing, brilliant people who work with me. And we get it done because we want to get it done, because we set the intention to get it done. And so it is done. And so it is. And so I think that that is what people should know about when they invest in us. And we are not very expensive to some people, but for some people, we're a stretch. It just depends on your economy. It depends on how you spend your money, how you save your money, and how you prioritize the spending of your money. I am not here to impose my ways onto anyone. And what we do is we have to charge a fee because I want to do this full time for the rest of my life. And a lot of the people who work with me want to do the same. And so we have bills to pay and babies to feed and everything else too. So as much as I would love to do everything that we do for free, we are in an economy and we must function within that economy. So I do have to charge some fees for some things. But I always tell people, if nothing else, invest your time, because a lot of things we do at Blue Star don't cost you a thing. They just cost you your effort, your time, your love, your interest. You can afford that. That's not too much. And so it's just about choice. And some things that require a great deal of our time and focus and expertise, I have no problems asking people to invest in that, because I've worked hard to learn the things that I've learned, and the things that I know how to do come from years of experience and expertise. And you will pay for that. And I charge without apology. But at the same time, as a business owner, I have come to know this, that everything I need from this universe, it will be provided for me. I don't have to be greedy to get it. And so I can get what I need without stripping anybody beyond their means.
Okay, and that was very well said. This owner to another, that was very well said. You know, I feel like as a homeschooling parent, as a parent, altogether, I have invested a lot, into programs and, into software and all kinds of educational materials. And, having used them, some things I have used, so you do have to pick and choose what you do invest in, and if it's going to benefit your child, how is it going to benefit your child? And that's another reason why it's good to know about programs like yours, because you kind of think like, okay, would it be better for me to purchase this software, or would it be better for me to put my child in Blue Star Virtual Learning and have someone work with my child face to face, online?
And I want to talk a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't customize and make our own curriculum. we are using and directing our parents to some of the free stuff that's already out there. Like, we are big fans of Khan Academy. Love them. Love them. We use vocabulary, which does cost, but it's worth every dime.
Mm-hmm.
We use K5 Learning, which you can pay for, but they also have a lot of free stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We use that stuff. I just want to be very clear that we don't have some magic bean that we have. We do outsource to some amazing creative educators like Kara Rojas, who creates amazing STEM curriculum. We love using her, and she charges to create her curriculum. But what people are paying for is what we do with it. We come up with a plan of action that is based on getting to know your child. We actually use Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence surveys to really help kids and parents understand how their child learns. And we make a customized learning plan for that child. And it's not a lesson plan that is restrictive and you must do this at this time and this at that time. We say, here's what we suggest. Here's some resources that'll work well for you. Make it your own. Do it in your own family universe according to your time and schedule and what works for you. We're not here to impose our way onto you. We are not a school. You are the school. You are the experience. But we definitely take advantage of the great resources and things that are already out there. And so the issue that I'm finding, Michelle, is that it isn't that parents don't necessarily have access to resources. It's not knowing quite how to use them for their learner. And that's what we specialize in. We specialize in getting to know you as a learner, as well as a family unit, how you like to teach in your home, and we help guide you. We don't call ourselves teachers or tutors in Blue Star because we don't do those particular types of tasks or those particular types of roles. We respect them tremendously, but we don't do them. We are guides. We call ourselves guides. Mm-hmm. So we guide you, we nurture you, we support you, we share our own stories with you. We are not we are not gurus. We are not experts. We don't claim to know everything. So we really try to guide you in learning yourself and becoming an expert in yourself. And we help you to find the resources, and we help you put a plan together. Because so often families struggle with organization. They struggle with knowing how to organize themselves, their kids. And even if they have everything neatly lined up, they don't often know what to do with it and how to turn that into an outcome. Mm-hmm. And that is where my expertise I have a master's degree in curriculum and instruction, where my expertise in how to get a kid to an outcome comes in. Mm-hmm. And so I give you that information. My team is trained in giving you that information so that you can start seeing results. Mm-hmm. Because there are a lot of great parents who are doing great things and their kids are brilliant, but they're not seeing outcomes or results. Mm-hmm. Their kids are not progressing. And understanding. They're not able to do content for another level. And it doesn't mean they're not smart. They just don't have a plan. Mm-hmm. And without discipline and without focus, discipline and organization are not dirty words. Mm-hmm. And even if we can't do them very well, that doesn't mean we can't learn how to. Mm-hmm. It takes humility. It takes humility to say, you know what, this isn't my strength. Mm-hmm. Help me know how to pull this together. And when our parents no longer need us, we are not ones to keep you. If you have it figured out and you can soar and do it on your own, that's great. But we are designed to stay with a child all the way through graduation. So we will hold your hands. As long as you want us to hold your hands, we will be here for you.
Okay, I think you made some very important points, with the learning plan and finding, the learning styles, finding out the child's learning styles, and getting a customized lesson plan according to the way the child learns, because every child learns different. Every child does not learn the same, and I think that's great. And as far as the organization of being organized and, with everything structured and focused on how your child is learning, I think you made some really important points that we need when you're homeschooling your child. Everyone's not organized. Everyone does not have the proper lesson plan. I think what you're doing and what you offer is great, and it's something that a lot of parents need.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
What would I experience if I became a member of Blue Star?
Well, when people first start with us, we actually just have a great family chat. We talk a lot. We have a good session with you virtually, or some parents who live here locally in North Carolina will actually come join me at the pool. That's typically where I'm at, is at the pool. And so they're like, "Hey, can you come to the pool, play with you? Come on over and let's have a talk."
Mhm.
And we do that session. We call it a free consultation. We don't charge for that.
Mhm.
Just come and talk with us and let us get to know you, because no child's learner compass looks the same. We call them compasses. None of them look the same. And so I make them, and my team learns how to make them through conversation.
Mhm.
And we talk primarily to the master student. We want to talk to the kid. We
Mhm.
love your mama and daddy, but we really want to talk to the child. And so we sit down and we have a conversation with them, because they're the ones who have to implement it. They are the ones being trained to be masters, not the parent. So we have good conversation with them. And then it typically takes 1 to 2 conversations. Then we go ahead and we create the learner compass, and we do an orientation where we reach back out to you and we talk you through and make sure you know how to use all the tools that we provide, because we are virtual. And
Mhm.
so we have students all over the country and all over the world that we're doing this with. And so it takes a moment sometimes for people to get used to hybrid learning and
Mhm.
using online tools. Some parents are concerned about too much screen time, and they ought to be, because these things are generating electromagnetic energy and you don't want to be in front of them all the time. So we talk through healthy things to do in life so that you have balance with screen time. And so we have these conversations. So what our parents are going to experience when they come in with us is a lot of, coaching and support. We don't just throw you out there. And we encourage people to stay in touch with us. It's very tempting. A lot of homeschool families in particular are used to being kind of isolated and cut off to themselves, and it takes them a minute to learn to open up their world again. Some have had trauma. They have felt invaded. They have felt abused through schools and other things. And so they kind of want to be insular and closed off, and that's okay. We don't push, but we do tell people to really get the maximum benefit of Blue Star. It's best. It would behoove you great. It would behoove you to really open yourselves up and stay in communication with us, because we make weekly contact if we don't hear from you,
Mhm.
because we want to make sure you're okay. We want to make sure you're supported. And we are needing feedback to make your next compass for the next month, because we don't make this stuff off the top of our heads. We make it based on your experiences. We make it based on your feedback. We don't give tests. We don't grade work. All that's done by the master student. And they give us the feedback so that we can create customized plans that take it to the next level the next month.
Okay, and that's very important that you include the master student as well. It's very important that you talk to them first and you include them in it. That's very, very.
Well, a lot of programs say they're student centered, but they never talk to
Mhm.
the children. And I
Mhm.
find that interesting,
Mhm.
because I was often told I was in schools that were student centered, yet we never talked to the student council. They never ever came to the student council and asked the kids how they want to run the school. And I
Mhm.
found that fascinating, that we were student centered, but we never talked to children. And
Yes.
so I don't play that game. And so the child is really the person who we need to talk to.
Mhm.
Sometimes parents already have a system where they're talking to their kids a lot, and they may have their kids very busy with something. And so they'll speak on behalf of their children,
Mhm.
but they've also had that conversation with their kids, and that's okay. We don't always have to be the one talking to them. We
Mhm.
want to make sure we're supporting environments where the children's voices are
Mhm.
heard.
Okay. What do you say to families who see the cost and think this is not in my budget right now? I just can't afford this right now.
I think that they're wise. I think that they know themselves better than I know themselves, and that they need to stay within their budget. And I admire they have a budget. Teach
Mhm.
me something, because I could really work on mine a little bit better. I
Mhm.
admire people who know their limits and who know their budgets and who know how much they can spend and how much. I really think that's fantastic. Um,
Mhm.
but I also coach parents in setting intentions.
Mhm.
I'm a big one on that. I'm a big one on where we set our intentions, there is where our resources come.
Mhm.
And so if you want something, like I'm always amazed that when people want a pair of shoes, for example, or when they want to go on a vacation, they manifest stuff all out the way. They
Mhm.
come up with creative ways to fundraise. They
Mhm.
all of a sudden think of someone who owes them money. When you
Mhm.
want something, it's amazing what starts to come into your mind to create it. And
Mhm.
that's how I feel about your child's education. I
Mhm.
feel that education for families, that we have to get out of the free mindset, because we've been told that education is free. Public
Mhm.
education isn't free, it costs taxes.
Yeah.
Nothing is free. Something comes from somewhere.
Mhm.
So it's all about resource allocation. And
Mhm.
so my encouragement is, if you want what we offer, then
Mhm.
start to set the intention and
Mhm.
work closely with myself and my team, because we don't turn anybody away. And we have people
Mhm.
coming to us who are on Section 8. They have WIC. They're using, public assistance, and they're getting Blue Star services, and they're keeping it moving. So they're making it happen, and we're not being difficult. They're finding us affordable and approachable. So it's just a matter of, where there's a will, there's a way.
And it goes back to what you mentioned earlier about making an investment into your child's education. Look at it as an investment, because you want to make sure that your child is good in the future and good with what the career choice they're trying to make, and also what continued educational choice they're trying to make as well. So look at it more as an investment in your child. What contribution do you hope Blue Star Virtual Learning will make in the African American community?
I love this question. Um, well, clearly, if you just go on visuals, you can see that I'm an African American woman.
Mhm.
And so I'm a proud one too. I love my culture. I love everything about my culture and its contribution to the world, the country. And so, I feel like I am um, a beautiful, one of the many beautiful pearls of it, you know.
Mhm.
And I say pearl because pearls come from agitation, pearls come from struggle, but they're gorgeous. And that's
Mhm.
how I see my culture. And so I hope that the way I approach education through my lens and my experience will be an inspiration
Mhm.
to other people within my culture, and other children within my culture, and other females within my culture, to reclaim themselves. I have found that African American educators, to some, are an endangered species. People
Mhm.
think that we're almost extinct, and we're, and I'm seeing it. It is true. There's few of us graduating from school. There's
Mhm.
fewer of us, going into the classroom. And so I am here to inspire others that are like me, who are young, to pursue it, and to show them that you don't have to go into a profession that you're told is broke. You're not going to make any money. Don't be an educator. You're going to be broke. I'm not going to be broke. I refuse.
Mhm.
Okay, because I make my own economy. I'm not going to let the state tell me how much I make. I'm not going to let the county tell me how much I make. I tell myself how much I'm going to make. And if you want to make an excellent living as an educator, then decide to do so and make it happen. So
Mhm.
that's what I hope to bring and contribute to the African American community, is a way for us to see ourselves in a different way, and a way to help perpetuate education in a style that is unique to the way we do things.
Mhm.
But it doesn't limit us to that. And my,
Mhm.
my biggest contribution as an African American, to African Americans, is to educate other people who are not African Americans. So in Blue Star, if you look at our roster, we have people who are not Black on our roster. And we're going after those students as well, because the best thing I can do for our culture is to help other people learn from our culture, what it is to be knowledgeable, what it is to be a scholar, what it is to be enlightened.
Mhm. Okay. How do you envision Blue Star impacting the world?
I think it's going to be one soul at a time,
Mhm.
and how to me, impact the world is within my own universe myself. And so by taking good care of myself, by staying a good learner, by working on myself and embracing my gift of imperfections, and being transparent about it, and working on it to the best of my ability before my master's students, I hope that that will teach them to do the same, because humility is a lifelong work and struggle. And so it's a daily practice, and it's not easy to do, but it's in humility that you teach the greatest lessons. And so that is how I hope to help the planet, is one soul at a time, starting with my own.
Okay. Is there anything that you would like to add about Blue Star? Is there anything that you'd like to tell us, something that we didn't cover in this interview?
Just that, to me, at the fundamental core of what Blue Star Virtual Learning represents is gratitude. You know, my hope is that as the owner and founder, I will always be grateful for these moments, these early moments where we meet people like you, Michelle, and the Black homeschool family support group. You know, it's a very special time. We're in our very early history of our existence, and I'm just savoring and taking in this moment, because I think your organization that you helped to found, is going to be looked on many years to come as the beginning era of what we did to elevate education in this country and this world. And I'm very honored to be a part of that. And so those are my parting words.
Okay. When I think Blue Star Virtual Learning, I think it takes a village to raise a child. I think what you're doing is really, really, really very wonderful. And I think the passion that you have and what you put into it, and the educators that you have on your team, I think all of that, the children homeschooled, any child can benefit from what you have to offer. Now, do you have a website or a Facebook page, any Facebook groups, anything that you'd like to share with us, a way that people can get in contact with you?
Sure, and I'll say it very slowly. Our website is www.bluestarvl for virtual learning.com. Again, www.bluestarvl.com. We are on Facebook. Just type Blue Star Virtual Learning, and that's it. It's just 4 words, Blue Star Virtual Learning. And our Facebook page will come up, and it's very active. So please like us, because that helps spread the word for us. We also have a new phone number that I'm going to be uploading soon. Our phone number, if you're going to call in the continental U.S., is 984-200-0069, 984-200-0069. And you can contact me and email me directly, the owner and founder forever. Even though I have a team, I'm accessible to every person who's a member of Blue Star. And my email is Melissa, MELISSA, at bluestarvl.com. Again, Melissa, MELISSA, at bluestarvl.com. And last but not least, I am a very active member of the Black Families, the Black Homes, how am I saying it? The Black Homeschooling Families Support Group.
Yes.
I'm a very active member of that group, so you can always find me in the
you are. Yes, you see Melissa on several posts. To her. Okay, well, it was very nice interviewing you today. I really enjoyed this interview, and I am very happy to share your virtual learning with everyone in the group and outside of the group. I just think what you do is just special, and I think it's so awesome, and everyone should know about it.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.